Hi, Dr. Payne here with Rejuvenate Health and Wellness Centers. I want to talk about my mission. And if you've been a patient in my office, you saw Fort RHWC. We're going back to basic training. Okay. Okay. So I won't make you do push ups or run miles. However, I will tell you that we are going back to basics when it comes to you learning about chiropractic and your health. Now, let me give you a little backstory as to why I'm doing this, and then this will help you understand my passion for even doing this to begin with. Um, so when I first started in the healthcare industry, I started out in psychology, and I worked in the psychiatric ward in a hospital. And I decided when I was in that department, as you could imagine, that was not for me. So I then shifted my education to pre-medicine. So I started in pre-medicine. I worked in the emergency room um, at a trauma center. It was a regional trauma center in my hometown. And as I was working there, I saw a lot. Okay, I saw the first day I saw things that will blow your mind away. But working there, I was able to have this experience one night when I had to do CPR on an elderly man. He was in the ICU. So normally, when you are working in the emergency room, if there's a code blue, the doctor that's in the emergency room who's on call is the one that is called to that area to do CPR. Okay, and to meet the respiratory therapist and everyone else that's going to be there to try to save that person's life. So I was a tech in there, and there was a couple of techs that were in there. But the doctor that was on call was my mentor, and he was the one that was helping me to try to get to medical school. So he told me, he said, Athena, I want you to come with me. You're going to go up to ICU with me, and we're going to do CPR. And I'm looking, I think I was maybe 3 weeks into the 3 weeks into the job. And so I was like, okay, CPR. I know how to do CPR, but why he picked me to do it? So, anyways, we go up to ICU. When I walked in the room, it was dark. And I remember seeing an elderly man in the room. He had to be about, I believe he was 90 something years old. And they were gathered around his bed. Respiratory was there. Everybody was there who had a job, right? So the ER doctor told me, he said, I want you to do the compressions and I'll do the bag, right, to pump oxygen. So I was doing that. He was giving me instructions. And as he was giving me instructions, when you go into that fight or flight, that's fight or flight mode, you just go into that survival mode. You don't think about anything else. You just start doing what you've been trained. So we did what we could, but we could not save the elderly guy. And I remember I stood there and I said a prayer over him. When they called his time of death, everybody left, was gone. And I remember the ER doctor telling me, he said, let me teach you about rigor mortis. So he pulled the sheets back, and he was teaching me a lot of stuff. But the temperament, the feeling at that time, which I understand you have to be able to cut off your emotions, right? When you see somebody die or you see death and things like that. But there was no moment of silence. There was and I understand they got to go and go, but there was this feeling that did not sit well with me. And I began thinking, is this something that I could wake up every morning and know that I'm gonna be confronted with every day? Would I be able to let go and be able to separate myself and my emotions at the end of the day? So later I went back down to the ER, and there were some residents who were about to graduate medical school. And throughout the weeks, I just started talking to them. And I asked them if they could be a medical doctor, would they do this again? right? Now that they're on this track. And a lot of them said no, surprisingly. And I was like, really? And they said, no, we would rather be a different type of doctor, that it's not all it's cracked up to be, and they started giving their list of reasons why. But I asked them, I said, well, what type of chiropractor would you want to be? I'm sorry, what type of doctor would you want to be? And three of them mentioned chiropractor. And I knew a little bit about chiropractic at that time, but not a lot. Well, as time passed on, I followed about 10 chiropractors for about a year, really got into understanding what they do and why they do what they do. And it was at that point that what resonated with me, what was true to me, was to be able to treat people on this side of healthcare. And what I mean by that is on the preventative side, on the help people with their quality of life. I want to catch them before they get to the chronic area of sickness, if I can. So that is what I decided to do. And that's why I became a chiropractor. The other thing that really contributed to me deciding to be a chiropractor and work with natural health care, and I was driving home the other day and I thought about this. It was, I was thinking about my mom, as I often do. And I remember growing up as a child, she's suffering with diabetes. And she did not know how to manage it. She wanted to be healthy so bad. Doctors told her that she needed to live a healthy life. She needed to lose weight. She needed to eat right, but she had no idea how to do that. And I remember seeing her wanting to exercise, and she wouldn't go out outside and exercise for whatever reason. But our house was made, it was wider than it was long. So there was a long hallway. And I remember she would just do, she would walk up and down. That would be her exercise. That would be her indoor track. I would go with her to the grocery store, and she wanted to eat healthy. She wanted to eat more vegetables, but her version of vegetables were in a can. So her decisions, as far as knowing what she should be eating, nobody told her. She didn't know how to save her own life. Nobody stepped up and told her, as I'm sure many other people, how to save their own lives. That's why I do what I do. And that's why I use the word mission, because although I was unable to save her, I want to be able to save someone. If it's you, sorry, if it's somebody you know, then I want you to share this information with them. So before I break down on camera, this is a launching of what's called my Mind Fuel Academy, because I want to fuel your mind to better health. I want you to be able to make better decisions and have the knowledge to be able to do that. I remember one day I told my mom, I said, once we go to your doctor's appointment, and I think I was 10 years old, I want to go do something for them, whatever. I can't remember what it was. But I remember she's like, okay, well, I have a doctor's appointment. It's pretty, important. And we got there, she wanted me to stay in the waiting room, which was different because I usually go in with her. But this time she said, stay. And so when she came out like a ball of fire. She grabbed me, we went in the parking lot, and we just started walking real fast to the car. And she told me, she said, the doctor said, she said, I'm sorry. And she just started crying. And she said, the doctor told me that I have 2 years to live because my kidneys are failing. And he said it so angrily to her. He was so mean to her and angry because she did not follow his directions of eating right and being healthy. And she's like, but he did not tell me how to do that. So eventually her kidneys did fail and she ended up with congestive heart failure. But I want this to tell you that you always have a decision to take control of your health. The Mind Fuel Academy will be launched on rhwcenter.com. And there you will see the videos of, I'll be posting them every time I do them. You can go back and watch those anytime. That's the cool part. It's always there for you. If you hear somebody talking about a certain condition or things similar to that, you can tell them, hey, go to this website, and she has broken it down to you. Anybody can understand it. So I hope you guys join me on this mission. Each month I will have a mission that is based on a specific topic. So I'll be posting some of these videos on Facebook. Some of them will be strictly on the Mind Fuel Academy. There will be an option for you to make a donation on the Mind Fuel Academy. It's not a subscription-based service, but it is based on donations. Again, that's optional. These donations will go to help the Women's Center. So to help us as a clinic buy supplies that those people need. So it'll be a dual purpose. So I hope you guys enjoyed my stories. I had a lot to say today. And you understand why this is such a mission for me. I'll see you guys next time.